Good evening, everyone. Please take a second and let us know in the comments where in the shadows you are listening from. Please note, this story may contain graphic descriptions not suitable for all audiences. Ready for a chilling adventure? Let's get started. The rope in the trees. This happened to me and 3 friends in the summer of 2020, during one of those rare stretches where life felt normal again for a moment. We were all exhausted from months of being indoors, so when campgrounds started opening up, we jumped at the chance to spend a long weekend in the woods. We picked a spot in the Adirondacks, remote, off-grid, and supposedly quiet. It was a primitive site about 6 miles from the nearest road, only reachable by foot or kayak. No cell service, no rangers nearby, just the kind of isolation we wanted. The first day was perfect. We hiked in with our gear, found a flat spot near a creek, and set up camp. The forest was dense but peaceful. The only sounds were birds, wind, and the occasional squirrel skittering across the underbrush. We spent the evening drinking cheap whiskey by the fire, joking around, and falling asleep under a sky full of stars. The weirdness started the next morning. When I stepped out of my tent, I noticed something hanging above our site, maybe 20 feet up in the trees. Rope, not just one piece, but multiple strands, evenly spaced, swaying gently in the breeze. At first, I thought someone had set up some kind of hunting marker or weird art project, but there were no signs of other campers nearby, no trash, no footprints. Just these ropes dangling silently above us in perfectly measured intervals. We all stood there, staring at them. Nate said it was probably nothing, some backwoods trapper marking territory, he guessed. But the symmetry was unsettling. Each rope was the same length, same knot at the end. Too perfect to be random. We thought about moving camp, but decided to stay one more night. We hadn't heard or seen anyone, and it felt silly to let something so weird drive us off. That night, none of us slept well. There were sounds, branches snapping, faint footsteps around the edge of the site. We chalked it up to animals, but the feeling of being watched was impossible to shake. Every shadow looked wrong. Every rustle made my heart jump. The next morning, it got worse. One of the ropes now had a noose tied at the end. Just one. But it was centered perfectly over our fire pit, and attached to it was a note, weathered and yellowed, tied to the knot with twine. It said, "You're not welcome here." We stood in silence for a long time. No one said it, but we were all thinking the same thing. Someone had been here while we slept. We packed in under an hour, but the hike out was somehow longer than we remembered. The trail seemed off. Trees we didn't recognize, a fork we swore hadn't been there before. We kept checking the map, trying to stay calm, but the growing sense of unease made it feel like the forest itself was trying to keep us in. At one point, Jenna stopped walking and just stared into the trees. "There's someone watching," she whispered. We turned. There, deep in the trees, was a figure, too far to see clearly, not moving, just standing, watching. We didn't wait. We ran the rest of the trail. Even Nate, who had a bad knee, kept up without a word. When we reached the parking area, we didn't stop until the car doors were locked and we were speeding down the gravel road. We didn't call the police. What would we even say? There were ropes and someone told us to leave. No laws broken, technically, just a message. And the worst kind of silence behind it. To this day, we don't know who left those ropes or how they found us, but someone went out of their way to send a message, to let us know that part of the woods didn't belong to us, and maybe it never did. Love horror, ready to confront what waits in the shadows. Like, share, and subscribe if you dare.